I get eager scrolling through a sea of laptops, trying to figure out if the next big spend is going to be a solid upgrade or just another piece of metal gathering dust. You've probably already imagined pulling out the machine at a coffee shop, opening a massive 4K timeline, or firing up a game after a long day of editing, only to wonder whether the price tag is really justified. That hesitation is exactly why I wanted to break down the MSI Creator M16 for you before you click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about why this laptop lands in a different lane than your average ultraportable. The i9-13900H is one of the most powerful mobile CPUs on the market right now, with 24 cores split between performance and efficiency threads. In practical terms, that means you can have a full Adobe Premiere Pro project, a couple of After Effects comps, and a background Chrome tab full of research all running simultaneously without the dreaded not responding screen. I ran a few real-world tests on a comparable setup, a 30-minute render of a 1080p video with multiple layers finished in roughly the same time as a desktop with a mid-range i7. That kind of speed isn't just a brag-off. It translates into getting your work out the door faster, which is the real money saver. Now, the RTX 4050 isn't the top-off-the-line graphics card you'd find in a pure gaming rig, but it's more than capable for a creator's workflow. For tasks like GPU-accelerated color grading or using Blender's EV render engine, the 4050 gives you a noticeable bump over integrated graphics. If you're the type who streams your editing sessions on Twitch while you work, the card handles a 1080p stream at 60 frames per second without dropping frames, and you still have headroom for light gaming in the evenings. Think indie titles or older AAA games at medium settings. The key here is that the GPU is balanced for creative workloads rather than max-out performance in the latest shooter. The 16-inch QHD Plus display is probably the most immediate win for anyone who spends hours looking at pixels. With a resolution of 2560x1600 and a 165 Hz refresh rate, you get a crisp canvas for photo retouching and a buttery smooth feel for scrolling through timelines. The color gamut covers a large portion of DCI-P3, so the colors feel vivid yet accurate enough for light color grading without a separate external monitor. I've taken the laptop on a train ride, opened a Lightroom catalog, and the screen's brightness held up even with the cabin lights flickering. No need to squint or crank the backlight to uncomfortable levels. One of the quirks that often gets missed in spec sheets is the LayFlat hinge. MSI designed the lid to open almost 180 degrees, which turns the device into a mini studio when you pair it with a portable touchscreen tablet. I tried using the M16 as a drawing board with a stylus, and the flat angle meant no awkward wrist angles. The screen stayed stable, and the built-in Type-C port let me hook up a cheap USB-C monitor for a dual-screen setup without dragging a power brick. That kind of flexibility is a hidden value add for freelancers who move between client sites. Cooling is another area where the Creator M16 shines, thanks to Cooler Boost 5. The dual-fan system, combined with 6 heat pipes, keeps the i9 from throttling during those long render sessions. In my testing, the laptop hovered around 78°C under a full system stress test, which is respectable for a thin 2 kg chassis. The fans are audible, but the sound stays in the low to mid-range, more like a gentle hum than a disruptive whine. That said, if you're planning to work in a library or a quiet co-working space, the fan noise will be noticeable, so you might want to keep headphones handy. Battery life is where the trade-off becomes clear. With a 99 Wh battery, you might expect a full day of use, but the combination of a high-end CPU and a 165 Hz screen drains power quickly. In mixed usage emails, light browsing, occasional video playback, I got about 6 hours. Push it with a 4K render or a gaming session, and you're looking at 3 to 4 hours before you need to plug back in. If you need a truly all-day mobile workstation, you'll have to carry the charger or plan for a power outlet every few hours. Storage and memory are generous. 64 GB of DDR5 RAM means you can keep massive projects and multiple VMs open without swapping, and the 2 TB NVMe SSD provides lightning-fast load times and plenty of room for raw footage. The SSD is user replaceable, which is a nice nod to future-proofing. I swapped out a 1TB drive for an external backup and the process was straightforward, no need for a professional technician. So, who should actually buy the MSI Creator M16? If you're a content creator, video editors, motion graphics artists, 3D modelers who need desktop-class performance in a portable shell, this laptop checks almost every box. It's also a solid pick for engineers who run simulations or data scientists who train models on